What's going on, guys? Arrival Teacher House, and welcome back to a tier list video. This time we are going to be looking at the Johto designs, purely from a design perspective. Of course, this is not going to be a competitive video or anything like that. We did our Kanto tier list already as well before, so if you want to check that out as well, then definitely go hit that down there. And while you're down there, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you enjoyed this video at any time. Of course, as this is a tier list video and a design tier list video specifically, obviously it's going to be very subjective, so if there's a Pokemon that I like that you perhaps don't, or vice versa, that's totally okay. But let me know what your favorite Johto design is down below. But if you haven't seen the Kanto video, just a quick guide for you. My S tier is my favorites, my A tier designs that I like, my B tier kind of indifferent to, C tier generally not particularly keen on, and D tier is Pokemon that I wish was not in the game. So without any further ado, of course, let's get started, and we will go through the starters. Now, to be honest, base form wise, I actually am a huge fan of all of them. I don't hate any of them. I don't like to have any indifferent things. I think as a base form, all of these starter designs are really good. I like them a lot. When it comes to middle stages, that's where it kind of falls off a little bit for me. Bayleaf, I'm indifferent towards. Quilava, I actually like Quilava. I think it's a really good progression from Cyndaquil. Crocodile I have a bit of an issue with, though, and the main reason the issue I have with Crocodile is the design on its belly. Like, the weird yellow shaping. Like, if you look at Totodile, it's got the yellow bit around its neck. Then Crocodile seems to be wearing this weird diaper-looking design. And then for Alligator, which we'll get to now, goes back to what made Totodile's design fine. So that's kind of my issue with Crocodile, is I feel like it's a bit weird to over-design the middle stage in the manner in which it was done. But for Alligator is one of my favorites. Typhlosion was S tier originally, but has kind of gone down a little bit, at least base form. Hisuian Typhlosion would be S tier. Mainly because obviously in most of the models they took the fire off its back at base form. And Meganium, kind of somewhat indifferent towards. Not really much of a fan, but I don't hate it either. Sentra is kind of boring. Furret is kind of boring. Hoot is boring. Noctowl, a little bit more indifferent towards. It does actually have some nice design elements. Ledibar is boring. Ledian is boring. Spinarak, I don't mind it. And Ariados I like a little bit more. And the only thing that kind of bothers me about Spinarak and Ariados is they're supposed to be based on spiders, as far as I'm aware. And they only have 6 legs, which is a bit odd. But it is what it is. I actually quite like the color scheme of Ariados quite a fair bit. Crobat is the first S tier. This was a brilliant evolution, in my opinion. One of the best evolutions that we got from new Pokemon in this gen. Crobat's a phenomenal design. Chinchou, love Chinchou. Like Lantern as well. These two are really nice as a design evolution. I kind of like the whole anglerfish idea. And I like the fact they managed to incorporate the electric type in quite nicely. Pichu is fine. Don't particularly have any feelings towards it. Cleffa and Igglybuff I kind of wish didn't exist. They were kind of just pointless baby Pokemon. Like, Jigglypuff and Clefairy were already not that great to start with. So just creating baby Pokemon designs. To me, these designs, while they would be acceptable if they were originally released in Gen 1, I feel like they were just wasted potential. So their designs are kind of meh. Togepi's a really nice design. I like Togepi a lot. Togetic I don't particularly like, though. It's kind of a bit weird. Like the overly long neck and like the weird wing shape, as well as the hands, kind of bothered me a little bit. So I wasn't a huge fan of Togetic when I first saw it. Natu I'm somewhat indifferent towards. Xatu I quite like, though. I think Xatu is a really smart concept, executed very well. And it definitely shows. Mareep I'm a little indifferent towards. I don't hate it. It is a sheep that just has electric compelling to it, though, so it's not the most advanced concept. Flaffy, again, somewhat indifferent towards. It's just a slightly different colored, slightly sheared version of Mareep. Ampharos is a good design, though. I like the concept of Ampharos. I like Ampharos' Mega, though. Ampharos' Mega would be an amazing design, would be an S tier. Blossom is a nice little dancer Pokemon. Nice different change from Vileplume. Really good design. Marill is nice, pretty well designed. Azumarill is one of my favorites. Love this design. Very smart choice to evolve into Azu from Marill in the same way. It's a simplistic evolution, but I think its design really works. Sudowoodo's concept I really like. Definitely a nice design, a sort of fake tree. Politoed is a bit of a hot take. I'm not that much of a fan of Politoed's design. I don't hate it, but I do like it more than the Poliwag line. Hoppip is trash. Skiploon is slightly better, and Jumpluff is slightly better, but they're all kind of bad designs. I don't really like the design on them. The face is just weird. The evolution line itself doesn't really make too much sense to me. Apom is fine. No particular like or hatred towards it. Sunkern is actually acceptable to me. I don't really dislike its design. It's somewhat adorable. It's a somewhat adorable seed Pokemon. Sunflora is trash. This design is just a sentient sunflower. It's bland. It's boring. It really just... I don't know. It's just a sunflower. Like, it literally doesn't have anything going for it design-wise for me. Yanma's a really cool design, and I started to like Yanma's design a lot more. Wooper, of course, definitely S-tier design, very well thought out. And Quagsire, again, really well thought out design. Very simplistic, very basic, but I'm totally down for it. As a water ground type, it makes a lot of sense. Espeon, perfect design. Umbreon, perfect design for evolutions. They are absolutely well executed designs. In fact, these two are probably, aside from Sylveon, probably the best two evolution designs in the franchise. Murkrow, somewhat indifferent towards. I love it competitively. But in terms of design, it's just a... or... is this supposed to be a crow? I'm not sure. But yeah, it's certainly like a crow Pokemon. Slowking is an okay design. Nothing too special. Obviously, very similar to Slowbro in that sense. Mischievous, I like Mischievous' design. Very nice and simplistic. I'm here for it. Unknown, I kind of wish these didn't really exist because they are just Pokemon hieroglyphics and they're not very well designed Pokemon hieroglyphics. So it's kind of a little bit frustrating. They are just letters with eyes. They're not really all that interesting to me. Wobbuffet, of course, delete this thing from the game. It's a cock and balls with an extra pubic hair coming out of it. It looks horrible. It's such a horrible design. It's very bland and very basic. Don't really like it. Girafarig I like. It's a nice design. I think it's got a lot of potential. I kind of like this sort of yin and yang nature of it sort of being, you know, a light giraffe at the front and then like a dark little demon in the back. I think that's a really cool little design element. I'm definitely down for that. Pineco is boring. It's just a sentient pinecone. Forretress is slightly better, being a sentient bagworm, but it's not really all that good. Dunsparce, not really keen on its design, to be honest. It looks a little bit odd. It's like, it's passable, I guess, in some cases, but like it's, I don't know. It just looks a bit odd to me. I've never really liked it. Gligar I like. Very nice little design. Pretty good use of a scorpion design. Like a levitating scorpion is really cool. Steelix is a good evolution to Onyx. It's a good improvement on the design. Definitely a good introduction to the steel type. Super huge fan of that. Snubbull I'm indifferent towards design-wise. I actually like the Pokemon competitively in Little Cup format. But design-wise, yeah, somewhat indifferent towards it. It's okay. It's a pink Bulldog. Gramble's a bit ugly looking, though. Gotta be honest. Not a huge fan of Gramble's design. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. Quillfish is just a basic-ish looking pufferfish Pokemon. It's got some nice design elements to it, though. So I'm somewhat indifferent towards it. Scizor is a brilliant design. Probably one of the better designs in this generation. A much more improved evolution for Scyther, which I'm definitely down for. Shuckle, I'm somewhat indifferent towards. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. Heracross is one of my favorites. It goes without saying. I think this thing's an incredible design. A nice counterpart for Pinsir for Gen 1 too. Sneasel, I like this one. It's not my favorite though. Weavile, obviously later on, is a more preferred option. But Sneasel's a good design. Nice little weasel pickpocket type Pokemon, which is nice. Teddiursa's just a bear. Actually kind of boring, to be honest. Not really much of a fan of it. Ursaring's a little better. Still not the best design in the world, but it's a bear with a ring on it. Slugma. I mean, it's a fire slug. It's okay. I don't mind it. Macargo, again, kind of not super big on, but I don't hate them either. They're just slugs, on a slug and a snail. Swinub, it's somewhat cute looking for a pig. I'm definitely down for it. Piloswine is a little bit odd though. Not as keen on Piloswine, but somewhat indifferent to it. Corsola, it's just coral, I guess. I don't really have any particular affinity towards Corsola. It's fine. Remoraid, it's just a fish. It doesn't really have anything cool going for it. Octillery's nice. It's okay. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. It's sort of that decent mid-ground. Kind of weird it doesn't have that many legs, though, for an octopus, but it is what it is. Delibird is somewhat charming, but, like, it's not really all that interesting. It's somewhat average. Like, kind of a forgettable design. Mantine, it's okay. It's a manta ray, but it's got a Remoraid attached to it. It's fine. Nothing too special. Skarmory's a design I quite like. Pretty well thought out type design. Is nice to see a steel flying type relatively early on. Houndour and Houndoom is okay. Houndoom's Mega's a really cool design, but Houndoom in general is not really there for me, per se. Kingdra is in S tier. I think it's a brilliant design. Perfect evolution to Seadra. Probably should have been in Gen 1, to be honest. I think it would have been a great design. Phanpy is cute. I like Phanpy. Donphan is a really good design too. Love these guys. Sort of based on like ancient elephants, I guess. But they're pretty cool. I like the concept of them. I definitely enjoy seeing them. Porygon 2, nice design. Good evolution from Porygon. Makes a lot of sense. Definitely a fun little duck-looking thing. Stantler, I'm not a big fan of. It just looks weird. It's a weird-looking deer to me. Smeargle, again, not much of a fan of Smeargle's design either. It's okay, but I don't know. It wouldn't hold up if it was released today, I don't think. Tyrogue is ugly looking. Should delete this from the game. Kind of a waste of a Pokédex slot. Hitmontop is alright, though. Probably one of my favorites of the Hitmons in terms of design. Definitely has a much more dynamic-looking feel. Smoochum was a waste. Kind of a wasted potential and not a really good design either. To be honest, as a pre-evolution to Jenks. Elekid is cool. Very good pre-evolution. Probably one of the few baby Pokemon in the game, much like Togepi, that is actually a good Prevo. Magby is the same. Kind of like Magby's design as well. Miltank, hot take for some people. A lot of people hate it, but I actually love Miltank's design. They actually made a cow Pokemon that feels more like a Pokemon and not just a basic cow, like a basic bull like Tauros was in Kanto. So it's a really good choice. It's a really fun design. It's got great personality, so I think it works really well. Blissey is mid to me. It doesn't really feel much better than Chansey, to be honest. And now we are at Legendaries and Pseudos. So Raikou is a design I really like. I'm actually quite a fan of Raikou. I think the striping and the Sabertooth cat-based design is really well thought out. Entei is a bit average to me design-wise. I'm not really quite sure what it's meant to be. But I don't hate it. I think it's fine as a design. Suiku's design is phenomenal, though. Really well-designed Pokemon. Very streamlined. I think as a quadruped, especially a water type, it fits the bill absolutely perfectly for a legendary Pokemon. Larvitar is a cool design. Definitely am a fan, but I don't particularly love it. It's a really good choice for like a baby pseudo-legendary, though. Pupitar is kind of average, typical sort of middle stage, I guess, but Tyranitar is probably one of the best designs in the Johto region entirely. so it makes perfect sense that it's there. Lugia, a bit of a hot take. I'm somewhat indifferent towards Lugia's design. I think it's the wings that kind of throw me off, especially. Really, they kind of just feel long and a little bit weird looking. I can't tell if it's supposed to be like fingers at the end or not. It just kind of looks a little bit odd. But it's okay. Ho-Oh's a brilliant design, though. I think Ho-Oh is a smart choice. It looks a little bit different with the 3D model compared to what it did way back in the Johto games themselves, where it looks a little bit more multicolored, etc. But I'm a huge fan of Ho-Oh's design. I think it makes perfect sense. And Celebi I love as well. Celebi's a really cool choice for me. But yeah, that is my Johto tier list of the designs. That is all of them. Looking at it now, I'm just seeing if there's any that I would change, if I'd move them up or move them down. I don't think so. I think I place all of those pretty much where I would place them. So yeah, that's gonna be my Johto tier list. Let me know what you think about those down in the comment section below. Would love to hear from you, of course. But yeah, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay awesome. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.